The bootloader is the middle manager of your computer. Its entire existence is dedicated to a 5-second window where it wakes up the hardware and hands the keys over to the kernel. It all starts the moment you press the power button. Electricity floods the CPU, but at this stage, the CPU is dumb. It has no idea your hard drive even exists. To find its way, it immediately executes code stored on a tiny chip on your motherboard called the BIOS, or the modern UEFI. This firmware has two vital jobs. First, the post or power-on self-test. It checks your RAM and CPU to make sure the hardware is actually functional. Second, the search. Once the hardware is verified, the firmware looks at your boot priority list to find a device, like an SSD or a USB drive, that is holding the bootloader. But how does the firmware find a specific file on a massive storage drive? It needs a bridge, because those motherboard chips are so small, they can't store a full-blown loader themselves. Instead, they look for a map on your disk. On modern hardware, this follows the UEFI standard, which looks for a specific partition called the ESP, the EFI system partition. This partition is smart. It allows the system to actually read files directly from the disk to find the bootloader, like grub, for example. Now, the heavy lifting begins. The bootloader goes hunting for the kernel, the actual soul of your operating system. On Linux, you'll usually find this file named vm-linux. The bootloader's job is to move that kernel from your relatively slow storage drive into the lightning-fast system RAM. Along the way, it also loads a survival kit called the initial RAM disk. This contains the basic drivers the kernel needs just to talk to your hardware and start the engine. With the kernel finally sitting in RAM, the bootloader performs its final act. It leaves a few notes for the kernel, details about your hardware and specific boot parameters to follow. Then it executes a jump instruction straight to the kernel's memory address. In an instant, the bootloader deletes itself from memory. The relay race is over. The handoff is complete. The kernel is now in total control of the machine, and your system starts. If you found this video was helpful, please like the video and subscribe for more.